Hello, everybody. My name is Max, and welcome to another pronunciation lesson. In this lesson, we're going to take a look at all the things that we mentioned in this course. We talked about linking phrases, linking sounds, stress words, sentence stress, intonation, grouping sounds. Until now, you've learned all of them. Now, today, we're going to look at all of them in one example. We're going to take a look at a couple of examples, having all the things that we mentioned, mixing all of them in an example so that you see if you mix all of them, how your answer would look like. So without any hesitation, let's begin. All right, so what you are going to do right now is this lesson is referring to improving fluency. So if you do all the things at the same time, you can improve your fluency really good. Now, you are going to read and listen to Antonella's answer, and you've got to underline the words she stresses, and you got to show where her voice rises or falls on stress words. You have to also use a slash to mark where you think she pauses. So you have to take a look at grouping sounds, intonation, stress words, and you have to see how she does everything, basically, as we mentioned in one example. So let's listen and check.
That's a good question. Some people say that it's good for, what's it called? Community spirit. But I think the main benefit is for local businesses, because tourists and visitors are attracted to the town to spend their money in shops and restaurants.
Very good. Now try to pause the video, listen again. Do it a couple of times, as many times as you want, to get all of them. Listen one time just to see where she rises and falls her voice, when she put a stress, when she stops. Listen as many times as you want. Pause the video and go back, watch it again. And after that, we're going to take a look at the answer. Very good. Did you do it? Fantastic. Now let's take a look at the sample answer. So let's listen one more time.
That's a good question. Some people say that it's good for, what's it called? Community spirit. But I think the main benefit is for local businesses, because tourists and visitors are attracted to the town to spend their money in shops and restaurants.
Very good. So basically, as you can see, the intonation is on a stress words mostly, and she stresses those words that she wants to also show some kind of an intonation, like rising intonation, falling intonation. Like, that's a good question. That's a good question. Some people say that it's good. Some people say that it's good for, what's it called? Community spirit. But I think the main benefit is for local businesses. So she falls here. She doesn't know local businesses. No, local businesses. Because tourists and visitors are attracted to the town, go up to spend their money in shops and restaurants. Calm down at the end. The voice goes down. Also take a look at the pauses, where she putting the pauses. Of course, when I was reading the previous time, I was just focusing on the intonation, but you can also check where she's putting all those grouping sounds, pausing. For example, she says, some people say that it's good for, what's it called? Community spirit. You see the pauses? She pauses after saying all these phrases, and she's trying to also have all those intonation lessons that we talked about: rising, falling, pausing, stressing, sentence stress, word stress, individual sound stress. She wants to do all of them correctly. Businesses, you see where she's putting the stress. Businesses, no, businesses. So putting the stress on the first syllable. And she's trying to have all of them correctly. Let's take a look at another example together. Try to do the same thing. Again, we are going to listen to Nikolai's answer, and you have to underline the words she stresses and how, and you have to show where. Of course, it's not a she, and Nikolai is a boy. Sorry, I just wrote it wrongly, I think, here. So you have to listen where he stresses and show where his voice rises or falls on the stress words. Also, try to use slash to mark where you think he pauses. Okay. So again, after you listened, do it a couple of times more to be completely comfortable underlining everything. Don't be afraid of doing it a couple of times. You can do it as many times as you want until you get the answer.
Yes, I partly agree with her. I think in many places, people spend a lot of time during the year preparing for their festival, and I think it really encourages a feeling of cooperation and a community feeling.
Very good. So let's take a look at the answer and see what happens. So let's listen one more time.
Yes, I partly agree with her. I think in many places, people spend a lot of time during the year preparing for their festival, and I think it really encourages a feeling of cooperation and a community feeling.
Very good. So you see pauses, stresses, sentences stress, intonation, grouping sounds, rising intonation, falling intonation, show enthusiasm by rising information. I partly agree with her. I think in many places, people spend a lot of time during year preparing for their festival. And I think it really encourages a feeling of cooperation and a community feeling. So you see, when the voice goes up, it shows somehow enthusiasm, and or maybe there is more to the list, or he wants to just add more things. So these are all the things that we talked about: fluency and intonation lessons, and stress on those words that are important to the meaning of the sentence. Try to stress those words that they give the meaning, or they just somehow important to the meaning of the sentence. Like, I partly agree with her. So that partly is important, and not your agreement, not with her. The thing that is important is the partly. I partly, so that's what matters. Or I think in many places, so again, many is important. That's why we put a stress on this word throughout the whole words in the sentence. And also we try to have rising intonation to show that there is more to what we want to say. And also falling intonation at the end of the sentence to show that the list is complete, or we are finishing what we are saying, or there's nothing more to say, and we are not uncertain about the things that we're saying. When you're certain, you should have falling intonation at the end of the sentence. When you're not certain, you're not sure, you should have rising intonation. When you're not certain, when you're not sure. Now, these are all the things that we mentioned throughout this course. Now, whenever you're practicing part 1, 2, 3, 4 of your speaking, whenever you are recording your voice based on everything that we mentioned, that you have to practice other criteria of the test, as we mentioned, now you know how you can also measure your pronunciation as well. Whenever you're listening to your voice, take a look at all the things that we mentioned in this pronunciation course as well. Listen to your voice. When you recorded your answer, remember, you have to record and you have to listen. There is no other way to improve for the speaking section. You have to listen, you have to record, and try to write down what is wrong. You have to write down the things that are going wrong in that recording. Just have to write it. Okay, I just made a mistake pronouncing this. I didn't use the vocabulary. My grammar was wrong. Blah, 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 blah. I didn't talk about the question. Whatever the problem is, you know how to deal with it when you've listened to it. And also this pronunciation course, specifically, we talked about different aspects of the exam. You learn how to just pronounce things correctly, how to link sounds, intonation, everything we mentioned here that matters. Of course, these are not everything about pronunciation in English, but these are the things that are important for the examiners. And if you can improve these parts, definitely pronunciation part is done, and you can get 100% full score for your pronunciation, and you don't need anything more than this. The only thing you need is individual sounds, which you have to pronounce them correctly. Rather than that, everything we mentioned in this course is good enough to get 5 scores if you can follow them correctly and you can record your voice and try to correct your mistakes. It's not very difficult. After you learn everything that we mentioned in this course, it's not very difficult to check yourself and try to correct your mistakes. When you know it, it's easier to correct it. When you don't know what's wrong, definitely it's hard to correct. But when you now know everything about the exam, you know what things you have to do, and if you don't do them, probably you're going to lose points. You can try to start doing this, practicing this way, and definitely you can get 5 scores. And of course, we are here to help you. And everything that is happening in our weekly sessions that we have, you can also ask us. And definitely we try to answer all your questions on WhatsApp group, Facebook groups, and everything that we have. We try to support you and answering all your questions that you have. So don't worry about anything. We're trying to help you to get this certificate as fast as possible. So thank you so much for watching this lesson. I'll see you very soon. Goodbye.